Today's verse of the day comes from Proverbs chapter 3, verse 3. I actually really like Proverbs 3. There's so much truth just packed in. It's like a chapter that's about to explode with wisdom and truth. So here it goes. Do not let kindness and truth leave you. It's interesting how they put kindness and truth together. You can tell the truth, but be kind. You can stand up for the truth, but be kind. You can seek the truth, but be kind. Probably one of the best examples would be, let's say at work you're asked to do something that is not completely truthful or is a little gray. And so if you're the good Christian, well, you stand up for what's right, and you're like, I will not do that, or I cannot do that. And if you make a big deal about it, you're standing up for the truth. Didn't really do you any good, now did it? And so we must approach these things, I think, with kindness and truth. The next section says, bind them around your neck, write them on the tablet of your heart. So I think Solomon here is saying, get this and get it close to your heart. Kindness, truth. And he said kindness before truth. So whenever you're faced with something where you have to stand up for the truth, especially in the world that we live in where everything is so gray, sometimes it's hard to find that black and white area, even for a Christian. Always approach it with a kindness. There's so many people on social media, particularly YouTube, and unfortunately even some Christians, you just read some of their comments on what they believe and how they believe it, and they just come down so harshly, and they think they're being prophets and people who stand up on a hill just standing up for God, and they forget that kindness element in their approach. And unfortunately that's part of what the internet has done. It has dumbed down, or it has not dumbed down, it has made it so much easier to be unkind. And really, there is no excuse for being unkind, no matter what the situation is. I don't care if it's anonymously commenting online or anything. As a Christian, or even as a human being, we need to be kind no matter where we are. And there's a promise or a result that comes from keeping these things, keeping kindness and truth close to our heart. It says in verse 4, so you will find favor and good repute in the sight of God and man. Now, who doesn't want favor? Who doesn't want God to pour blessing on you or to show favor on you? Everyone does. I mean, what are you going to do? Sit there. I really don't want God's favor. I really don't want God's favor. No one does that. Everyone wants God's favor. Even if you're not a Christian, you probably want God's favor. If you're not a Christian, how do you believe? What do you believe about God? Even if you believe He's, some far out, something out there, when something hard comes, you usually cry out to God. Not all the time. But we all have this sense of a higher power. Not all of us, but as Christians we believe that God is the higher power. And the cool thing about Proverbs is that usually, if you were to live your life by what's all in Proverbs, and even if you weren't a Christian, you would probably have a pretty happy life. And because these are life principles and life wisdom. Now, are there some things in here that apply just to Christians? Absolutely. But if you aren't a Christian, I would encourage you just to read it anyways, because there's just so much good stuff. Who would argue with letting kindness and truth be a part of your life? Nobody argues that. So, anyways, that's my thought for today, and I just encourage you to keep your what you have to say to others, make sure it's truthful. And what you have to comment on YouTube, Make sure it's kind and truthful. And if you can't say it kindly, just don't say it, because especially if you're a Christian, we're supposed to love others. Love others. Look, I even have a bracelet. This doesn't make me love others. It just reminds me to love others. And it says, love on. That means you love other people. Weird. Isn't that a weird concept? I mean, why would you love people? Oh, wait, because Jesus loved people. The greatest commandments. Love God, love others. Oh, and then stand up for the truth and be unkind about it. No, it doesn't say that. Stop. It doesn't say that. So you will find favor and good repute, or a good reputation, in the sight of God and man. That's good stuff. Chew on that.